What's up, everybody? In this video, I want to cover three different things. I want to cover basically like the long range meta, but I want to cover it in different ways. So easy to use guns versus harder to use but faster time to kill guns. And I also want to cover a couple weapons that I think will not get nerfed in the upcoming patch. May 11th, there's going to be the Season 3 update with King Kong and a bunch of map changes, things like that. So there's a few weapons I'm going to highlight that I don't think are going to get changed for that patch. So if you're looking for things to level up to get ready for that, it's probably going to be pretty useful. But we got a little sponsored segment, and then we're going to jump into the meta weapons. Today's video is sponsored by Opera GX, which is the first browser made specifically for gamers. The first feature I want to talk about is called GX Control. So I've got the browser open here. GX Control is just a little tab on the left side. You just click that, pops open. What this does is allows you to limit Opera GX's resource usage. So network, you can limit how much upload and download the browser can be using. You can limit the RAM usage. You can limit the CPU usage. Really simple. You just pop it on. You can hit the slider to change what percentage you want that to be limited to. This is huge because like Chrome can really hog your resources in the background, which can hurt your game performance. So it's really nice to be able to have a browser open and not have to worry about that. Another thing I absolutely love about this browser is these built-in messenger apps on the side. They have everything you could want. They have Discord, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, Twitch, everything. That's just some of them. There's like another 5 or so. So this is a little pop-out. So anytime you click on these, it pops out that specific messenger, lets you respond to the message real quick, and then get back to whatever you were doing. This is huge for me while I'm working. I love to have my messengers open, but they can be really distracting, so it's nice to have them just pop in and pop out like that. So right above the GX Control option in the left menu, you have GX Corner. This is basically like a hub for gamers for any sort of information you might want. They have all kinds of game deals here, so if you're looking for any cheap games or any sort of unique deals, you can see 78% off Assetto Corsa. Those are in here, as well as a bunch of gaming news. So it's basically just kind of like a hub, like I said, for any sort of gaming information you could want. Another small feature that Opera GX has that I absolutely love is the option to force dark mode on any page. So even if the website doesn't support dark mode, there's an option in the settings called Force Dark Pages. You just turn that on, and it literally will make any website completely dark mode, even if that website doesn't support it. So with all of that in mind, I'm personally planning on making the switch over from Chrome to Opera GX. I think this is actually a really, really cool browser with all those features. Something else to note is that any Chrome extensions you have can actually be brought over to Opera GX. They are compatible. But yeah, if you want to check this out, my special link's down in the video description. Be sure to use that rather than Googling it so you help to support the channel. And a big thank you to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. So if you didn't know, on TGD we actually have a page that's called Warzone Meta Scores, and this is something that I try to keep up to date. It's right here on the right. If you go to this page, basically it has every play style of weapon, so SMG, sniper support, for aggressive play style versus long range versus a versatile SMG. You can come here and you can sort these and see how I feel like all these guns stack up in terms of that specific play style. All you do is click on the header and it'll sort by that one, either up or down. And then you can also filter by different games, different types of weapons, things like that. So this is kind of a useful tool. Eventually I'm going to tie in actual recommended loadouts to all the top weapons on here. But that's just, something we haven't gotten to yet. But for now, it's just weapon scores, but it can still be useful. So today we're going to be focusing on long range main. So I go over here to the right, long range, sort by descending score. So I have the Vargo and the Cold War AK as the top two, both with a score of 10 out of 10. And then obviously you can see there's a bunch of 9s and a bunch of 8s as well. There's a lot of really good weapons right now. I've built out the weapons that I wanted to talk about for this part of the video. So we've got 3 that are hard to use, but kill really fast. So AK-47 from Cold War, AS-44, and MG-82. And then 4 guns that are much, much easier to use, but have worse TTKs. So we've got the Vargo, which has very, very little recoil. KGM-40, literally virtually no recoil. You can get away with using the higher caliber magazine even. Which gives you better bullet velocity, which makes it easier to hit your shots at range. But it does not have good TTKs at all. Cooper Carbine, slow bullet velocity, but no recoil whatsoever, both visual or actual. It's just virtually no recoil. And then the Krig 6 has kind of been forgotten about. The Krig used to be a meta weapon because it had no recoil. They changed it, gave it a bunch more recoil, but it's actually still very, very low in terms of like visual recoil, which in a lot of cases I actually think is more important than the actual recoil. So it's still a very good gun. Had some friends drop like 40 kills with it recently, so it's a very good weapon. But yeah, let's talk about this. So like I said, the first 3 are the more difficult to use but have better TTK numbers. So Cold War AK is orange, the AS-44 is the magenta line, and then the MG-82 is cyan. You can see that those three easily have the best TTKs out at range. So this is 300 health combination shots using TGD, and you can see that up close they're pretty similar. AS44 takes the lead by a little bit, and then out at range they're almost identical between those three. Of the three, Cold War AK is easily the easiest one to use. I think that's why the Cold War AK got a 10 out of 10 on my meta scores ranking. It's just so good right now. It's not actually that hard to use. It's just a little bouncy, and it has some little S-shaped recoil, but overall it's a fantastic gun. MG82's kind of been forgotten, but it still kills really, really fast and still just has perfectly vertical recoil. So it's not that hard to use either. It's just obviously slow. So it's, movement, getting around the map and stuff is really slow. And then the AS44 I've made videos on. So if you want to check that out, you can go watch those videos. I think it's a pretty good gun. It's just really hard to use. The first few shots have a ton of recoil, but then if you build it right, after that, it has almost none. But yeah, moving on to the Vargo. The Vargo's in a special spot right now, and I think it'll get nerfed again. I don't know if it'll get nerfed in the Season 3 update or not, but I do think it'll get nerfed again very soon because it's just kind of too good right now. It has TTKs that sneak up on these hard-to-use guns, but yet it has no visual recoil and very, very little actual recoil. It's kind of like the best option in the game, in my opinion, right now for most people, is the Vargo. Standard build for the Cold War guns, so the last barrel, the GRU suppressor, the axial arms optic. If you're on PC, if you're on console, you can use a red dot sight or a holographic just so you don't have so much zoom. Spetsnaz grip for recoil, and then the 60 round mag. It does have a decently fast fire rate, so you do need to use the fourth magazine, which is the 60 round mag. But yeah, it's crazy good. I leveled it up the other day, and it's up there with the Cold War AK for sure, being the best weapon right now. KGM40 I want to talk about a little bit. You can see how terrible this blue line here. KGM40 just has awful TTKs, but it makes up for that in the amount of shots that you can hit with it. Because you can put all of these attachments on there that help bullet velocity. You get this MX silencer, lengthened, the barrel, and then also the 30-06 60 round drum, which increases bullet velocity as well. It makes it super, super, super easy to hit your shots at range compared to most of the other weapons. If we go look at the summary table here and just look at bullet velocity, you're going to see that the KGM40, like compared to some of the slower weapons like the Cooper Carbine down at 836, that makes it really hard comparatively to hit your shots at range compared to the 1165 of the KGM40. And that's a rare bullet velocity for Vanguard weapons. Usually you can't build them that way. For Cold War and Modern Warfare weapons, that's a common bullet velocity. So that's what I'm saying. The Vargo even has high bullet velocity as well, up there at almost 1200, just like the KGM40. So that's why it's kind of like the Goldilocks gun right now. It's just pretty much the best in my opinion. Cooper Carbine again is a solid weapon. It's hard to hit your shots at range because of the bullet velocity, but it's just ridiculously easy to use. So if that's something you're looking for, and you already have it leveled and you don't want to level the Vargo or something, Cooper Carbine is still a great choice. Same with Krig. Krig, like I said, has been forgotten, but it's actually pretty good. I mean, most of your gunfights are going to be inside 85 meters, which is where that third drop-off happens that they added to the gun. Or second drop-off, I guess, third range. And it's just a solid gun. Everybody just threw it away when they changed the recoil, which made sense because it felt bad to start with, but now, like, looking at it compared to the other weapons, how the other weapons have been changed, it fits in pretty nicely, and it's actually a pretty good spot. So for recommended loadouts, the best place to get those from me is just to go to my profile on TGD. On here, I'll have all of my top builds built out on my profile. And something that people might not know about, this is a new feature that we released relatively recently. You can add Twitch commands now, so you can connect your Twitch account to TGD. It's powered by QuickStatsBot, which is a website that basically does player stats and things like that. Just a good dude that we worked with to connect up Twitch and TGD with QuickStats. And you can also set like what type of weapon it is that you've built, so you can sort, so you can open show category filters. If you're just like today's video is about long range main ARs basically, so I would sort to that. It'll update and it'll only show you my builds for the long range ARs. As far as weapons I don't think are going to get nerfed, like I said, I don't think the Vargo will get nerfed in this update, so I think you'll have some time to use it. Cooper, KGM40, MG82, these things are not going to get touched. AS44 I doubt will get changed. Cold War AK, I wouldn't be surprised if they touched in this update. But really, most of these guns are pretty safe, I think, as far as nerfs goes. I think we'll see an MP40 nerf, we'll see an Owen gun nerf, but I feel like there's really no front runner that's sticking out in terms of long range, ARs and LMGs right now. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I literally have no idea what they think about that behind the scenes. So yeah, if you want to see these recommended builds, just go to truegamedata.com/truegamedata. I'll link that down in the video description as well. But yeah, just come to this page and then you can sort by whatever type of weapon you're looking for. I haven't filled it out for all types yet, but for today's video, all the weapons I talked about are on here. You can sort to long range main. You'll see all those guns. You can add them to a comparison. You can just view the stats. Either way. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. I'm doing a little series, so I'll be doing SMGs again tomorrow. And then we'll move on to sniper supports and snipers and things like that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good day.